Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast Dragon Ball edition. Today we have maybe our most special Dragon Ball episode. We actually have two avid fans of the L7C, particularly the Dragon Ball content, with us today. So we're going to talk to them, talk some Dragon Ball, hear their thoughts and opinions on some stuff, talk about the manga chapter that came out, 91. Definitely going to heavily talk about Budokai Tenkaichi 4 and just go on and talk. So first, we got the Dragon Ball expert, Mitch Oso, with us. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, as always. Good to have everyone here with us today and ready to talk.
And then the first time debut on the podcast, an avid fan, Mr. Malon. How are you doing, man? Thanks for coming on.
Man, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Glad to be here. Now, I feel like we've been talking about it for a minute. So, all things come to fruition.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. And then we got Mr. JJ. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I can't be better. Dreams come true.
So
I brought a genius with me.
So I just want to know, before we even get into Dragon Ball stuff, like Malon, JJ, what got you guys into Dragon Ball?
Okay, got you. So growing up, my brother was always really heavily into Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. My older brother, my older cousins, always. So it kind of got started with that, just following their footsteps. Mostly them just beating me up in Budokai 1 long enough for me to have enough and start getting good with myself. And so after I got through that initial trauma of losing in that game, I really started getting into Dragon Ball more. Mm-hmm. And then, the more friends I meet, the more I started talking about it. And then one day, man, I was just obsessed with it.
JJ?
Oh, man, I don't know. I started probably, I can tell you actually, I was in kindergarten. Came home one day, got off school a little bit early, walked into the living room, turned on some Cartoon Network, boom, Raditz gets beamed through the chest. I was like, oh, this is for me. This is what I need.
The Donut Club, baby.
That's right.
Awesome. Who are your guys' favorite characters in the series? What's some of your favorite three favorite characters and 3 favorite moments in the series?
Well, I mean, the only answer is Vegeta, greatest character of all time.
Boo.
Listen, we'll talk about it.
So JJ, have you listened to that Strongest in Dragon Ball one we did yet?
No, not yet. I'm behind.
Oh, Let me catch up. You're not gonna like Mitch. He had
not at all.
I'm a fan of everything you guys talk about. I've listened to every episode from the first one all the way up to September 2nd, 2022. You're talking about wrestling right now, Seth Rollins and the Matt Riddle feud right now. That's what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Every time you do a Naruto one, you body my boy Sasuke. We'll talk about that later. But you body strays. The man is catching strays. Not even anything to do with the podcast. Catching strays. That man Sasuke garbage. He's trash.
You got to admit, man, he's the only anime rival in history who's never really trained and earned his power. You got to admit that.
The man's cold looking. That's all I gotta say. Cold looking.
That's funny.
So Vegeta's your favorite. I know Malon's is Bardock.
Yes, sir. Talk it.
I know Bardock's is. I know that's his favorite. Man has him on his Twitter stuff every now and again.
The goat.
So what got you into Bardock?
Man, I don't know. Obviously, I love Goku too, but it's like Goku would just look like a slightly evil. Bardock was like a slightly evil Goku. So it was like Goku with a face scar. So I'm like, okay, I kind of like what that guy's putting down. And then once, I don't know when I saw the movie, but I saw the movie one day. I was like, oh, yep, that's the guy for me for some reason. He's kind of like got a little more edge to him than Goku, and I like that. Granted, he gets bodied by Frieza immediately before we even get to know the characters. But nonetheless,
did you
all the Super Saiyan stuff and all that? I loved it.
Did you like the Bardock that they retconned in the movie, trying to make him like Superman's dad? Like, oh, I know the plane is blowing up. I got to send Kakarot away. Do you like the original? He had to repent for his sins. Was able to see the future Bardock.
Yeah, I'm okay with both. I do like the style of the newer one, but I do still like the kind of got hit in the back of the head. I'm seeing into the future Bardock, because then, because when he was dying, he saw Goku in the future beating up Frieza. He didn't even know who he was. So that was a very, I don't want to call it a That So Raven moment, but it was a very That So Raven moment out of Bardock, and I loved it.
Awesome. And then JJ,
do you wish that the movie that Bardock was the movie with Chill? Do you wish that story plot was canon, where Bardock was actually the first Super Saiyan, the one that started the entire? Like, do you wish that was it, or do you have like a different theory on how you like that?
Right.
Dude?
I'm okay with it. As a Bardock stan, I would love for that to be it. I would love for the one that everybody's been bragging about to have always been Bardock, but that would make Dragon Ball Z, I feel like, add some more plot, more than what we already have, and that would be a headache to explain. So I like the little special. I'll take it as a special and just hold it near and dear to my heart rather than make it official.
Are you one of those Bardock fans who, well, Super is getting close to the end. Are you one of those fans who want an arc that Goku goes sees his parents as an adult? Are you one of those fans?
No, because I don't need that much extra story to Bardock to like Bardock anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, like I don't need the full background detail, more content of him. I'm satisfied with what's there. So even when he was popped back up in the manga, I was like, okay, cool, I'll take that. But you know, just a little. I don't need that much fan service for me to be satisfied, so I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
JJ, so what got you to Vegeta?
He beat Goku. That's all I need to see. Beat the main character.
Oh, okay.
2.5 times. 2.5 times.
Give him the half. Talk about the half. Yeah.
2.5. Oh, that was it. So is that what gets you, like, just from like an anime perspective? If someone beats the main character, you start riding with them?
No, I would say it's someone usually has something to prove. I don't want to say like underdog because he came in as like the elite. He came in stronger, but you know he got beat down. His pride got stripped, and he's like, well, now I have a goal. And his character progression throughout the entire series, I would say, usually characters like that's what I like the most.
So man, how do you feel then? Like, especially during Moro and Granola arc, like how do you feel every time you're reading this stuff? You're just like, like how do you feel?
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna lie to you. I go sit in my room, sit in the dark, hold my pillow, rock back and forth, let tears drip.
I mean, it's tough,
but
man.
I mean, it is what it is. It's a Goku show. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you know, we have the big bad Frieza now, and something that Mitch actually said during the Moro arc, I believe, is the sealing away with their god powers. You know, and if we're hoping that GT gets kind of retconned a little bit and they're not, you know, gods in that, maybe Frieza's the one that gets sealed away with the god powers. But as long as Vegeta gets some sort of redemption with it, more than he got in Resurrection F in the movie and the anime, I wouldn't say either one because he lost both either way. But something, he just needs, this is the burden he's been carrying. He even said it in this past arc. This is the burden he's been carrying the most, not what his people have done, but the pride of it. So,
man, Mitch, you got someone believing in your God power thing, even though you gave up on it. How do you feel about that?
I am so humble that, you know, someone believes in the sight in which I have for this series, even though this goddamn series like demoralizes me every arc and every chapter that comes out, and that Toriyama and Toritaro throw this shit into the wind. So, but no, I appreciate you even bringing that up from the past. I really do. So, thank you.
Yeah, because I mean, it was a cool theory. It ain't gonna happen just because
it needs to happen. I mean, it needs to happen.
I'm still team
collective group.
Optimism.
Stop the shit.
Let's go, Vegeta. Come on, Vegeta, you got this.
Stop, man. We know what's going to happen.
I will say if like us four, like we're able to actually get someone that could actually, I don't know, not write a manga, but illustrate a manga pretty good. I bet our ideas that like we tossed off each other, like even Twitter feed. And anyways, anyone listening to the L7C right now, you go hit that Twitter subscribe button on YouTube. Get that. Anyways, there's my insert right there. But no, if we had someone that could actually draw like a manga and like illustrate it, I mean, I think our ideas would be pretty good storyline in terms of, at least compared to what they put out now. But yeah.
Right. I agree. I mean, but JJ, I mean, with Vegeta, it's tough because he's always like he's losing these things. But then when you look at the grand scheme of things, I mean, he can't have everything. He doesn't have to work. He has one of the coldest girls in the series. His person's the richest person on the planet. He doesn't have to do anything. So you can't beat one dude and you get bodied by every main villain. Life's still good.
Yeah, he's the Devin
The
Booker.
one dude's all that matters. Though.
He's the Devin Booker.
The one dude is all that
Devin
matters.
Booker of the Dragon Ball Z series. Talk a lot of shit.
He does have all his own moves. He does get.
He doesn't copy anybody's.
Yeah,
he doesn't copy anybody. Dirty Fireworks is one of my favorite moves in any Dragon Ball Z game ever.
Big bang attack.
Big Final Flash, Final Explosion.
Final Flash is the best move in the show. I'm saying it. Final Flash.
And you can't tell me
in the show
that Majin Vegeta ain't that guy.
You think Final Flash is better than Dragon Fist?
I think it's cooler than Dragon Fist. I like Dragon Fist. I do like Dragon Fist, but I'm calling it it's a Superman punch at the end of the day. I'm calling it what it is. Goku was like, "Oh, Roman Reigns, you think you got one of these?" Huh?
Oh, he was around before Roman Reigns.
It all comes full circle. What came first, the Roman Reigns or the egg? You know what I'm saying?
Oh
the chicken or the egg?
my god! Okay, final.
So yeah, it's a Superman. It's a really strong punch. I like it nonetheless, but I think Final Flash is a little. Didn't the God Final Flash? Beautiful.
So then what were your guys' top 3 favorite moments throughout Dragon Ball?
Oh man, that's tough. I don't want to be cliche and say that Super Saiyan 3 transformation, but that's also my most beautiful, I think the most beautiful form is Super Saiyan 3. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely up there for me. And it's a really short moment, but when Gohan was going Super Saiyan 2 in that out of his Saiyan Man outfit, I like that. That's also one of my favorite looks. So that's one of my favorite moments too. Mm-hmm. With the all black fit and he had his gloves on still, or just took them off some around then. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. JJ?
Definitely Goku versus Frieza on Namek.
Mm-hmm.
That's gotta be the best. That's gotta be top. It's gotta be number 1. Yeah. Cliche Cell Super Saiyan 2 Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
The Majin Vegeta speech.
Which one?
The one after Goku's like, "Why you never let anybody take control of you before?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good. Underrated. I don't hear it really get talked about all that much. Ultimate Gohan, Super Boo.
Okay.
I'm going to kill you.
That's a top one. I thought Gohan was him again. That was a top
original
one.
Beast Gohan.
He had that dog in him before he went.
Yeah. Oh, yes. See, that was a top one. That was a top one.
Like, man, I thought it was PG-14.
It's crazy when you watch this stuff as like a kid. All of us back then, because obviously back then. I mean, we're not super old, but we were, there was no spoilers. Whatever you saw on TV, you had to wait till there was no gonna go find some things on the internet and all that stuff. So you think Gohan shows up, you're like, oh, we got this one. No plot twist. Every time, that's why I think it's really the best when you're watching it and you don't know what's happening.
Right.
Well, Martin, I have to kind of counter you in terms of it is better if you watch it without actually knowing what's happening. But you can't say that there was no spoilers because Toonami, you remember their commercials.
That's true.
I mean, when they were trying to hype up the next arc, I mean, we saw, Goku's telling Bulma and everyone on the lookout that, Gohan, Vegeta's dead.
That's one of the best promos they've ever done. That's their best.
And then at the end, they showed
I still
Super
watch
Saiyan
that
3,
one.
though.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But that's like an 8-year-old, who the hell is that? You're like, why does Goku have long hair? You're just sitting there
that was definitely one of those memories for me.
Yeah, because Boo Arc Goku's the coldest Goku that's ever lived. Besides maybe Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and he didn't care. He was just killing everybody.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 is the coolest transformation for sure.
Because Dragon Ball Super, they ruined the man.
Oh man, he's a moron.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always a little bit slow. He was always a little bit slower. But oh man, I don't know I don't know what happened over that stretch. But he been losing brain cells. Maybe that's why
a bridge happened. That's what happened. A bridge happened. That's what happened. Yeah. Everybody loved the bridge, and they're like, you know what? Everybody likes it. This is what Goku's going to be now.
I do love a bridge. The bridge is good.
Yeah, Martin, get on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what you doing?
I told all those other people on this podcast, I was like, I'll watch the whole thing of a bridge if y'all do a whole podcast without me doing anything. And it's supposed to be like Mitch and like Jacob and them. It still hasn't happened.
Yeah,
Mitch, you put me on that podcast. I know every single word of a bridge. Let's go.
JJ can't quote a bridge.
And I said, I'll watch the whole thing after I listen to y'all's into stuff. And then, but hasn't happened yet. There's still time as long as the Earth's still spinning. But before we go into the main stuff again, just another quick thing. Do you think the super anime is ever coming back?
I think it has to, right? If they're going to do, if they're going to do stuff like this video game and stuff like that, they're just going to put out just the Dragon Ball Super content. There's no way they can do like Moro and Gas and Granola in the game if we haven't seen any animations of what they can do, and especially in Dokkan Battle, that makes a crap ton of money. So they're going to need to do that.
Dokkan, baby. But yeah. I think they're going to start money grabbing. So especially with this Budokai. I feel like they're giving us Tenkaichi not for us wanting nostalgia. That thing's probably going to be $85 for the entry level package, and I'm going to give them $87 just in case. But yeah, I think they have to do the anime just to give us actual animations of like super attacks, and I'm sure the visuals on the new game are going to be crazy, so they're going to have to give us something to work with off of that.
Okay. You don't think that because the animes now are really going this like new route where they're like, why we need to do a weekly thing if we can just give you an arc in a movie? Like Demon Slayer's Mugen Train was the highest grossing movie that year. That was their whole arc. And they're like, we're going to grab more money, and you already seen the movie. You already know how the season goes. We'll split up. So it's like maybe Dragon Ball seeing that is like, we're going to keep pumping out these movies.
Yeah.
But now it makes no sense because this is
out there. They end up putting Mugen Train as a season too. Also,
that's true. They go to Milan's money grabbing thing. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to take this money from the theater.
Double dip.
Yep.
And I think Crunchyroll. I don't know if it's like a conspiracy in my brain. I swear the Crunchyroll has slightly more footage than the movie had, and so they're making me watch both. And I'm like, I think there's like maybe 10 total minutes of more footage.
You're right
on the Crunchyroll anime than the movie.
Yeah, that Rengoku fight was a little bit longer.
Yeah,
it was a little bit longer, right? Yeah,
you're 100% right. Like they're like, oh yeah, you watch the movie, you already know what's gonna happen, but you want some deleted scenes.
You know what I'm saying?
Crunchyroll. Yeah, no, you're right. It's some money.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Mitch have given up because all the real like big Dragon Ball Z like talkers out there like geeked them all. Them like, oh, this is coming back in 2019. It didn't. Oh, it's supposed to come out in 2023. We're in 2023. They're already getting called out saying, "Where's this at?" Nothing. There's supposed to be a web series.
Yeah, I got two things for that. I got two things. The first one is they need to just say that the anime is coming back, which I think anyone could put their mortgage down that saying that statement is true. But everyone keeps putting a date on it, and then they all look like fools. And Martin and I don't like to look stupid, so don't have the date. But no, your conspiracy with Crunchyroll, I mean, and then based off what like Martin said, that's true too, because go look at what Disney's doing right now. They're about to release a 9-hour Avatar, The Way of Life or whatever it is on Disney Plus here soon. So, I mean, like they already have the idea now. Granted, they're not trying to just sneak in 10 minutes, which is what's causing you to, think about it. But that entire mindset of, we're going to put more shit on our streaming service to get you sucked in. Yeah, Disney already does it, so why wouldn't Crunchyroll do it? No, you're right. That's not a conspiracy. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You can see you guys not wanting to be dumb, like saying you're stupid, like looking with egg on your face. Like I said, I started with the very first podcast, and you guys mentioned the anime. Like at least once every three times you guys are on there. It's like, I heard it's supposed to come back 2021, and I'm like, guys, it's not coming in 2021. Maybe 2022. It doesn't come back in 2022.
You know what's funny? JJ? Like every I mean, because I think it'll be 3 years. Yeah, 3 years this August, something like that. I always listen to that first like Dragon one for a little bit. I'm like, man, some of this stuff still applies today, but I'm like, damn, yeah, no anime. That's awkward.
Hopefully we don't get any old
The
listeners
whole
coming back to bite us.
thrown at us.
Now I gotta fully like listen to that whole one all over again and be like, damn, we were saying this stuff. We were talking about like,
you better check it. But JJ showed me on his other wall, he has a whiteboard of everything you guys got wrong. He has it circled and highlighted.
Are you serious?
I got him. I got him.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Martin, we're gonna have to go through every podcast, listen to the shit that we got wrong, and put that thing on an NFT so no one else can ever hear it again.
Here, I'll just read you the list. Let me pull it up real quick.
This is so bad.
Oh, look, God, he's got it ready. Oh, let's go. Hey, put it on Twitter too, so that we can get everyone.
This is so embarrassing.
Granola does not beat gas.
Now I'm trying to think which ones I've got wrong. I'm thinking I was wrong on MUI. I was half wrong. I said Goku was going to go MUI2 and beat gas. He went True Ultra Instinct. Still a different one. Not MUI2 though. I was half wrong.
Add one more. They need to stop adding adjectives to Ultra Instinct.
Okay, talk to him.
Okay, well, hold on. Wait a minute. See, I just listened to that podcast, Into the Granola Arc, and you guys were talking about this, and I was like, well, you're like, well, how is True MUI or True Ultra Instinct stronger than MUI and all that? I'm like, well, if you like listen to what we says, he's like, make it your own. And I feel like if it's a true version of it, it would be his own, which means he can master it better.
He made it his own and his face was still in the dirt.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say it was good. No, I didn't say it was. Back to Sasuke. I ain't saying it was good.
Yeah. Next time instead of making it your own, we're going to try. Let's try Whis' next time, Goku, because yours making it your own didn't work. Let's try somebody else's.
Don't get Mitch started on that because I know, like, if you listen to ones, Mitch is tired of Ultra Instinct because this is supposed to be the be all end all, and Goku's getting terrible. In the dirt.
It's terrible. Yeah. Maybe we should go back to Super Saiyan 3 and figure that out. But let's see if we can stack that up in some way.
Yeah, let's get that. Let's get him working on that stamina.
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, at least Super Saiyan 3 Goku beat a movie villain. Like,
at least he did beat a movie villain. And you know who didn't do that?
Well, it makes no
sense. Moro, kind of.
Huh? He had help.
He needed oob.
I mean, so did Super 3.
You talking about perfect Susanoo Goku?
Yeah,
perfect Susanoo Goku.
He needed help. Like that. Like it's like, oh yeah, and that arc robbed us too because that part where Beerus is like, all right, I'm about to step in. We got excited. We're like, oh
yeah, I remember that.
Something.
That panel was nice too. Serious look on his face, like a time catch his hands.
I'm just saying, bro. Like the transformations in Super are like Super Saiyan Blue is the worst transformation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's talk about Super Saiyan Blue.
It's the worst transformation in history. Easy. Yeah, no. Everyone talks about that. Blue has beaten no one.
No. That Blue does take some L's. Blue does take some L's.
It didn't beat
Broly.
Oh, Gogeta Blue.
Yeah, Blue.
That don't count, man.
I don't count.
That's a whole
Blue
fusion.
Did jump into a whole different dimension. I don't know where they were fighting at for like 12 straight seconds of that movie, and they jumped back, and then Earth was healthy again. I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, it's Blue sucks.
Blue is terrible. Like Super Saiyan God, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna give you Super Saiyan God." Just forget it. We're already gonna give you a new one, and we're not even gonna go back to Super Saiyan God unless for some random plot hole. Like Blue is bad.
Remember that like Resurrection F like thing? I thought because I remember like some toys came out in Japan. You saw a picture of it first. They had like these little keychains, and the first thing you saw was the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. So in my head, I'm like, that's his God form. They're just two different colors for some reason. That's what I thought was going to happen. And then Goku.
Yeah, that's how you know. Like that's all it is, man. Like if you really want to know, Japan they don't care about spoiling nothing. They'll have them toys out before the first trailer's out.
Not even know the character. Yeah, okay. I don't know what this guy is.
No, Blue is just god awful. Like I don't understand how you mix God power with Super Saiyan and you don't beat anyone. And it makes no sense that because Mitch is one of his biggest points. Goku and Vegeta train so much, so hard, and you have Joe Schmucks coming out the woodwork who don't train, who are just stronger than them.
It's getting on my nerves. I'm sick and tired of it. That whole how Kefla and them figured out how to go Super Saiyan was terrible. A back single.
That was bad.
I had to watch my friend get burned. You had to get a tickle in your back.
That was rough, man. Because if you go through everyone's first Super Saiyan transformation, you're like, Goku really saw Krillin get popped like a popcorn. Like he was, Vegeta was on the verge of like suicide. He was like, I don't care about life anymore.
Vegeta was fighting lightning. He was fighting lightning. Yeah.
Gohan's in there talking about all his friends. Like, man, if I don't do this, and Future Trunks saw his best friend on the ground, bloodied up, dead,
and he already had one arm. And think about it, the one arm didn't even make him go Super Saiyan. So he lost an arm, and Trunks was like, maybe he's pretty tough.
And then,
but Kefla gets a tickle in her back.
We bring up that whole, tickle in the back to go translate, Super Saiyan and whatnot. Was it that? Do you think that they thought back to, because you remember when Gohan was trying to teach Videl how to fly, and he was trying to explain it to her back then. I don't know about you guys, but like as a kid, like seeing that scene, like that got me like, okay,
you try it?
How I can really do this kind of shit. Yeah, I tried that.
Yeah, everyone does. I'm like, you telling me everybody in the world can fly? They just don't.
I'll try right now.
Only thing,
just how Gohan and Videl did it. It was just, I mean, that was believable with that. But whenever I see freaking Kale and all them trying to go Super Saiyan, tingling in the back, I'm like, oh my god,
terrible.
Someone needs some Pepto-Bismol. They got upset stomach.
I mean, I think their universe sucks anyway. They're worthless.
Their universe sucks. Yeah,
they're trash. We're
gonna find out Hit has never trained
in that freaking.
Even their Broly kind of sucks.
Who? Wait, who you say?
I said even their knockoff girl Broly kind of sucks.
Bro, she's terrible. She's not good.
Yeah.
Like they really, that tournament of power was a power scaling nightmare. Because I'm like, bro, I don't care how strong she is. She should not be walking through no. I get you want to reference the movie. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. So she walked through Goku Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha in the anime. And then Jiren literally got his pinky, almost flicked her out. And you expect me to think that Goku can beat that guy? Come on. Now.
Yeah, come on. They better
the manga version of that was better.
Yeah, the manga version is better. But then it's just like, so y'all Kefla's getting smacked around by Gohan.
Yeah, did it mess up the whole power?
One thing at a time, Martin. We're talking about the girl Broly. We'll talk to Kefla in a second.
Anytime I argue with somebody, they would always bring up like, "Well, Gohan beat her in the manga, so he has to be stronger than Goku in the anime." I'm like, that doesn't even make sense.
Wait,
how is your brain?
That's gonna.
Yeah, they weren't good. They weren't good Dragon Ball fans. The internet makes everybody wants to like Dragon Ball Z now. It's sickening, but that's a different topic.
That's a that's a whole paradigm.
Yeah.
Well, Martin, I'm gonna make this comment, then maybe we can even transition into the chapter pretty well because of what will happen in it. It's like it's based off of like what we said like in a previous podcast. I don't know. Whatever comes out first is always like the rough draft. You know what I mean? So like movies come out first, and then when they do it on the manga or in the anime, shit just changes. And then like or vice versa. The anime comes out first, and then the manga is so different. It's just like how much money they make off of rough drafts is insane. But going back to chapter 91, which we'll talk about here in a second, it's the first 19 minutes of the movie, and it's really just all the same except Krillin is involved.
Krillin got a good life too.
Krillin got it good.
He's a cop.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's in no real danger ever because, he can technically, destroy a planet, I guess, if he really applied himself.
The only one with a real job.
The only one with a real job.
Whoa. Hold on now. Whoa. Tien runs a school. That's a job.
You think he gets paid for that, or you think he just takes on students?
Come on now. He's a monk. He's over there doing that for free.
I mean, Gohan got a real job, so does Videl.
Yeah, but they ain't real fighters.
Wait, that's so disrespectful. She teaches a whole fighting school and she's not a real fighter.
Nope. Not on my
you tell me when Videl goes against Broly and we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll figure this is Dragon Ball Super. That could happen in 3 months from now. You never know.
Yeah. Take it a week. We'll see if she's a real fighter.
Gohan is discovering Super Saiyan ants. Like that's what he does. That's all he does is he looks up ants and finds out they can turn Super Saiyan. And if an ant could turn Super Saiyan, that's horseshit.
They just got to feel that back tingle. He's somehow communicating that with the ants. You feel that tingle in your back, and you'll be good.
I can't wait to see Scott Lang make an appearance from the MCU.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I went to the quantum realm. Now I'm in. What is this? Is that Capsule Corp?
Super Saiyan Scott Lang.
West City. What is West City?
All right, so
yeah, I just went from fighting Thanos to Kang.
let's go quickly into 91. There's really not that much, but main thing is, are you guys okay with superhero being adapted into the manga, but the Broly saga just got tossed aside, really?
Yes and no, only because it gives me a little bit of hope that the Broly movie won't be adapted into the anime.
Okay.
But the only reason I would say no is because, I mean, even just this chapter 91, it gives you just a little bit more detail into what's going on. And hopefully it'll like retcon some stuff like in the movie for Dragon Ball Super Superheroes. Frieza's not mentioned at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's by far the most powerful person except for Jiren, but like relatively close to them because Jiren's in a whole other universe that's mentioned. And when they're sitting there talking about like, oh, you know, we're trying to get strong to fight Jiren and Broly, they don't even mention Frieza. But I can't think of anything in the Broly movie that I would want changed, I guess, or retcon maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so I think I'd be okay with it.
Malon?
Yeah, the movie did enough for me. Basically, like everything you said, I don't need I don't need 30 episodes for me to like a character. That movie, the 2 hours, whatever it was enough for me.
Fair
and
enough.
They cross their T's, dotted their I's, and we'll go from there.
Fair enough.
And also seeing him in the training with Goku and Vegeta in the superhero movie was cool too. It gave me like a little more context to kind of close it out for me.
Sure. All right, Mitch, we're going to do a different since we already know what's happening in here. So you already know. First, literally pages, Piccolo's picking up Pan from school. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
Okay.
You're going to hear a lot of nopes, I think. Just chapters.
All right. Then we randomly, this makes no sense, though, as we talked about addition, because Krillin is probably the biggest addition. He's here talking about the Red Ribbon Arby's, like all that stuff and all that jazz. And yet he didn't show up in the movie until the final fight. Makes no sense.
Yeah, this would be that retcon thing I was talking about. They had to make it
again. It's
the
a
last
rough draft,
chapters.
man. The movie was a however much money it meant or made. It was just a rough draft.
All right, Mitch, what's your doctor's? What's the doctor's name? Because you were hot at yourself last
All
podcast.
Right. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Let's. Hey, you guys got that whiteboard ready with your marker and the shit on it? I got fucking wrong. Let's do it. All right.
Yeah, got the red marker.
Yeah, here. This is a new definition of autocorrect, where I automatically correct myself before someone else does it. So I've been pronouncing the doctor's name incorrectly on all the podcasts. So I kept saying like Tito. No, I watched illegally. Maybe no.
Even though the
I didn't
movie's
do
out,
that.
you could buy it legally.
Well, someone shared it on Twitter, and I just coincidentally just saw a little bit of the entire movie. But no, Dr. Hedo is his name. So I can't pronounce his damn name correctly. It's Hedo, at least in the English dub of the movie. So not Hedo, Hedo. So anyways, there's a correction on that. And then the second one, I took a little bit of credit for this, and then I realized that it wasn't an original idea of mine. It actually happened in the movie. So I was saying in a previous podcast, maybe 2 or 3 ago, that I was trying to predict how did Dr. Hedo get to jail. And I was like, well, he has to go to jail because he stole corpses. Well, yeah, he did. They explained that within the first 3 minutes of the movie. That's why he was in jail. So no, I tried to take an idea that was not mine and make it mine. So there you go. Add those 2 things to the marker board of shame. What I would call it. Those are the dipshit moments. There you go. So.
Well, I'm not going to add Hito to the marker board, Shane, because I've been calling him that as well the entire time.
Oh, man. So next new thing, obviously Pan and Piccolo are training. Nothing new there. Other new thing when Dr. Hedo and Red Ribbon are coming out of jail, freaking Krillin's on the back seat like he's trying to catch him. That is new.
Do you see the way he was hanging off the side of the car? I'm like, what? You don't think they have side view mirrors on this vehicle?
He can fly.
You're on the side of the vehicle.
I'm actually wondering why didn't he just blow it up?
Fly.
Like, why don't you just shoot a destructo disc, take out the tires, movie's over.
Hey, you went full terrorist on him, just blow the car up on the highway.
Solar flare.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
let me. I was gonna say he is a cop, man. You find a way, you know. I'm just saying, bro.
He's gonna throw a knife down. He's gonna throw a knife down on the field. Like, look, they had a knife.
Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. Like, was he like trying to hide his powers? I'm like, bro, it's the red ribbon. They know you have powers. Just blow this thing up and get this over with. This man got spun around like he's some damn vigilante in Gotham. Like, what is this? That was embarrassing.
That's funny.
Talk about that.
I don't know why he didn't just fly. That's a good point. I didn't know why he was just holding onto the car. It just seemed, I don't know.
And then this man is on the ground. He's like, I'm lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Remember Krillin can fight a Super Saiyan Blue Goku on top of a
yeah.
In Blue,
remember that.
Lost to a bee.
Everybody went 1v1 versus Blue and made it out to tell. You know what I'm saying? I think 17 beat up Blue. Krillin beat up Blue. Goten probably did it off camera somewhere. Like,
and then Gohan, who was training, he trained for 1 day, maybe not even a whole day. Goku's like, shit, I gotta go Kaioken times 20 on him. Like, what are we doing?
Father, who's the main character is this? And I was like, oh, it's mine? Damn it. I'm responsible for this guy.
I'm sitting here, I was like, when Goku went blue against Gohan, I was like, all right, it's par for the course, whatever. And then he said Kaioken, I'm like, all right, this is a little much. And then Gohan still charged at him with no fear.
Like, okay, so he's trying to kill his son. So we're going to start this chapter off with him killing.
That was terrible, man. Because I remember the Universe 7 and 9 little exhibition thing where Mitch is like, oh, he's going to go blue against this wolf. I was like, bro, it's this baby ass wolf. They can't even fight Super Saiyan Gohan. Why would he go blue? Then he went blue. I was like, oh, Mitch is right. Then he's like, oh, no, I'll go further. Kaioken. I was like, all right, this is a little much.
I was like, oh, come on, bro. Tone it back. Tone it back.
Instinct too if you had it.
But yeah, I'm saying it just somehow the Super Saiyan, I don't know. Super Saiyan I thought was like a multiplier. So I'm like, Goku, if your base form is stronger, your Super Saiyan should be fine against any one of those three wolves. But I'm like, okay, if we're going Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken times 20. All right, so we're risking our lives here. And we should just call Gohan back in because clearly this is too much for us to handle.
One of the scenes I always bring up to Mitch about like how like when Goku was fighting Kale and Caulifla, they're like, blue, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But the one time he went 3, they didn't move. They were scared. They were like,
terrified. I'm like, because my hair got longer. Maybe they should have made Blue with longer hair. And we could have also got them.
I'm like, yo, no, Blue is stronger than 3. But they sat there. They're like, holy shit. That's
terrified. Yeah, maybe, Blue means God, right? Like you start off as God and then you Super Saiyan on top of that. And they're like, yeah, not fazed by it.
Nah, they're like blue, red. It doesn't matter. We're still gonna beat them. I was like, okay, bro. Okay,
it's the eyebrows. That's what it was.
It's the eyebrows. Yeah, you see great minds. It's the eyebrows. Right.
You go back to Pan and Piccolo training. Here you have Pan asking Piccolo. She's like, oh, I heard Dad could be stronger than Grandpa if he wanted to. And then I get some. I'm like, Piccolo, bro, what Grandpa you think you talk about? Hercule? Like when he's
I have a question about that.
When he's like Grandpa, he's like, oh, you mean Goku?
Who do you think's talking like Gohan could train and beat? Who do you think's telling Pan this? She heard it from somebody, apparently.
Oh,
heard it from somebody.
That's a good point. Who's
talking shit? That's what I want to know.
Who's talking the shit?
Somebody knows the truth. They got to keep that under wraps.
Dang, that's who would be. Videl? Well, no, because
gotta be Videl.
The only way I can think of is Goten.
I'm trying to think of something like somebody who's just a hater.
Gohan.
I'm trying to think of somebody that's a straight hater. Probably Vegeta probably leaving notes like in our room somewhere. Vegeta was thinking of like your dad sucks and like sticks it on the window. Like
I don't even. Oh, that's a good question. Like who
Vegeta says, I beat him twice, right?
By the way, 2-0. 2-0 gets your grandpa. Your grandpa's soft. Relay a message.
You know what's crazy when we talk about, because now Mitch is on his new crusade of like finding inconsistencies. So in this movie, obviously one of the biggest plot points is Pan learning how to fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Pan knew how to fly as an infant in Dragon Ball Super. She was flying around the planet.
That is very true.
Like if you watch the episodes of Super where she's literally in space, flying around. And then like from a inconsistent thing, because this is all supposed to happen before the end of Z.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the end of Z, Vegeta and Bulma's daughter Bola is older than Pan. But when you're looking at Super, Pan is older than Bola.
Huh.
Pan was born. That makes no sense. Because Pain's supposed to be younger than Bola.
Sure. Yeah, they've already messed up. Was that the 28th martial arts tournament that's coming up? They already messed it up. Oob saw Boo already. Or so that's not gonna be surprising for that. He's got God power. That's a whole other thing. They've already messed that whole thing up.
The inconsistencies are terrible. Or like in Super where Goku's like, he's like, oh, I've never kissed Chi-Chi. And I'm like, bro, there's a whole scene where you kiss Chi-Chi after you wake up from the heart virus. What are we talking about?
Yeah, like what's the play here?
You can also do in the Broly movie, or not in the Broly movie, in the superhero movie when Goku is mocking Vegeta whenever he's doing meditation training.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you don't get stronger meditating. That's bullshit. You can go all the way back to Dragon Ball. And there's
that's all Piccolo does.
Which Goku has meditated.
Piccolo exclusively meditates. Yeah.
It's trap. Like the inconsistencies it's like when Malon said whose main character is this? Is like, whose writing group is this?
Like, and have they seen the show? Like
or read the past 3 chapters or anything like that?
Or anything. You know what? The last couple chapters when was it the last chapter when they opened up that little disc thing and it was the autograph from Clean got in there and they were like, they were like, oh wow, it's been an autograph in there the whole time. I'm like, Trunks, you put that in your mom's laptop and it gets you a virus and all that. I watched you pull up Cell on your laptop. No, it wasn't an autograph in there the whole time. Do you not remember that?
Oh my god!
And that
he says it in that chapter, like two pages before. He's like, oh yeah, there was some bio technology on the disc.
Yeah, like a bio something on the disc, and then when they opened it, it was an autograph. He's like, it was an autograph the whole time. I was like, dude, no, you're the one that opened it. You took it, you opened it, you put it in a computer.
Malon, to go back to your thing, man, it might have been Gohan because you get I don't know who he's hanging out with when he's not at work, but you get the boys around. He might be drinking a cold one, and he might be like, "Man, Dad, you're weak." He's like, "Hey, I have back in my day, I was stronger than my dad."
I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's tequila getting your system.
Yeah, that's tequila.
Gohan ain't got no boys. Gohan ain't got no boys.
I mean, what do you mean? When he goes to like a university function with his other professors and they're chopping up, you don't think that's the crew?
No. Gohan ain't talking to nobody. Gohan's going home, sitting in that dark room looking at ink. That's all Gohan's doing.
I tell you who it is Gohan and Vegeta. They in there drinking together. They're like, and Vegeta was like, I'm 2-0 against your dad. He was like, yeah, I can beat him up too for real if I really wanted to. You got one more strike.
That's crazy. So they go with that stuff. You have Piccolo pulling up on Gohan saying like, bro, how come you can't pick up your own kid? Which is a factual thing. And then he's like, oh, well, we got you. And then, he drops the line, like if some threat comes, he's like, okay. And we got my dad and Vegeta. I'm like, well, I mean, he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can find a person underneath a rock who's just magically stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. So
they're called Krillin. Good thing it's Krillin around.
And then Piccolo does the attack thing. He's like, you don't think I've been getting rusty, do you? I'm like, bro, when's the last time you trained? Like, but it's weird because we know now this is after the previous arcs. Because when Gohan did come out of class and then he was starting to whoop 073's ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, so when you train? You training like after third period, fourth period?
Yeah, like during lunch?
During lunch.
During office hours.
Yeah.
But Gohan's the weirdest dude, bro. He don't train and then it all disappears. He trains for 2 seconds. It's all back.
Yeah. He's had his weight's on for like 4 hours. Beast mode.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man.
Literally.
Like, Piccolo, I'm not even dead. Yeah, I stand him up. Come on, man. We've seen much more traumatic things and you just went home, but all right, yeah. We'll give you that, Gohan.
So then you keep going from that, and then you have the end part of this manga where Gamma 2 literally disrespectfully shoots Piccolo at his own house.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how it ends. And then, we're getting to the fight of Piccolo and Gamma 2. So we're basically going to have the whole movie for maybe, what do you think, Mitch? 3 weeks?
Probably 3 weeks. Or 3 months.
Yeah.
Probably next 2 or 3. They're going to run through this thing real quick unless they want to put more explanation into like Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan and what the hell those transformations really are. But like, maybe a little backstory on that. But
what
that's the only reason why they dragged this thing out.
That's true. The real question is, what do you think is next after this arc? It's got to be Frieza, right?
There's going to be Mastered Ultra Instinct Beast Gohan 2. You had to make that his
Ultra Ego. Don't put that in there.
Yeah.
Like,
it's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be Frieza. He's got to be next. Like, there's this. They can't keep dragging this along, but
yeah.
I mean,
do you think they end Super with the same way they end Z with the 28th tournament?
Just retcon to hell.
Yeah, like they just do it. They're like, we'll do it this way instead.
Wouldn't be shocked.
Super ends. Or do you think
because now it's
GT?
weird now because if you're like, oh yeah, this is supposed to happen at the end of Z, and if you watch the end of Z with all the stuff now, you're like, you're telling me this ragtag little dude is fighting Master Ultra Instinct Goku evenly.
Mm-hmm. It has the potential to be stronger.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna ride Shinron out into the sunset just like the old days. But where are you going? Yeah. You have grandkids. Where are you going?
That is wild. That dude, a whole grandfather.
Hey, if the next arc is not Frieza, like, does that actually take away from Frieza as a character? Because I'm like, Frieza hates these guys, hates them, wants to kill them, and he only just let them go one time, which, again, we've pondered if that is a confliction with his character. Like, if Frieza is a tyrant trying to conquer the universe, then, like, he has to be just slaughtering people left and right all the time again.
Yeah.
So then, therefore, Goku and Vegeta would probably have to go and save the day, save another, like, planet, blah, blah, blah. Or, like, if, again, Frieza's trying to take over, Frieza would get rid of everyone who would be a threat to him. Like, he lived his entire life in fear of the Super Saiyan transformation, that he eradicated all of the Saiyans. And now that he's strong enough to get rid of the people who have already beat him in the past, if he doesn't go and kill him, like, it just makes him look like a bitch. So, like, the next arc has to be Frieza, in my mind.
The only thing about him not killing them is, do you think, like, because he's had to live, I don't want to say in fear, but like with the knowledge of like, oh God, these two are stronger than me or can be stronger than me. Do you think he wants them to like think about that? Like, he's obviously not going to stop training. Hopefully he's smart enough to know, like, oh, they saw me at my strongest form, so they're going to try to catch up to me. So I got to keep going.
Well, if he keeps going, they can't catch up to him. He has greater potential than both of them.
Yeah, but he has to just be smart enough to be like, man, these guys just keep getting stronger. I was dead for whatever 14 years or whatever, and they're in godhood. They were puny Saiyans at one point.
Yeah, I could also see him being so arrogant that he's like
stunting on the
whatever.
Pose.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm about to be Black Frieza all over this galaxy, and I'm gonna make them watch while I do it. Yeah.
That's the only thing that I have to just go back is to what I said. Like, he looked back when, during the running of Z and, during his time doing whatever he was doing, he was like, okay, I'm looking at Saiyans that are the strength of fucking Nappa. And I have a fear that one of these guys are going to come and kill me. So I'm going to kill the whole planet. So that was his mindset then. And nowadays he's like, okay, I'm stronger than these guys right now. I have seen them get super strong, and I've seen a fusion of them together, which I don't like. I need to go and kill them right now.
Well, he could have been that afraid of them. He left 3 of them alive.
Or you guys, go ahead. Say that again, JJ.
I said he couldn't have been that afraid of them. Well, I mean, we know he's afraid of them, but like he ended up leaving 3 of them alive.
That's fine.
Like the strongest one at the time that he know of was Vegeta, Nappa, and then Raditz was just there.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think Broly and Paragus were on some Joe Schmuck planet.
Yeah, and then Goku, like, just chilling,
late
horrible.
Yeah. He left a lot of Saiyans just kind of hanging out. Wasn't his best move.
You put it in the movies. Turles was somewhere chilling.
Turles was evil. Goku was somewhere chilling.
It's crazy. Like, just think of, because Mitch, you're a math guy. Think of the mathematical odds that the Saiyans you keep alive are the most dangerous ones.
Blew it.
Oh, it's 0. You probably have a better chance of filling out the correct March Madness bracket, or
this year,
I don't know, hitting a 5-leg parlay. Like,
like the whole race, and the ones you didn't kill, or 2 of them, 3 of them become Super Saiyans. Like, and then they have kids who become Super Saiyans. Like, come on.
As Tom, but you blew that one. He's a terrible.
Now, to be fair, if he saw what Bardock did to Gas, I bet he would kill them all. Like just the potential that Bardock just jumped to beat.
Oh yeah, he would have killed them.
Kill them all.
Or maybe he did, and maybe he did, and that was the final straw.
Yeah,
Bardock is the GOAT though.
Yeah, that's what I remember Mitch saying, that like the transmission through the scouter.
Maybe that was the thing.
Yeah.
See, Mitch, you got one right there.
Mitch, you got the vision. Keep it up. Don't you stop.
Oh my God, sweet. I'm bad. This is great.
Circle that green one. Circle that green one under all the red
6
ones on the board.
All the red ones. But speaking of something absolutely no one saw coming. A couple weeks ago, Dragon Ball Battle Hour, where they do their video games, all that stuff. They're showing some old clips of Tenkaichi. People seeing it. They're like, oh yeah, it's going to be maybe a remaster thing, which I would have been for. And then you have that thing where Goku's powering up. You're like, all right, cool. Do a little skirt. And then you're like, what are these graphics? And then you see Goku hit Super Saiyan Blue. And then they say a new Budokai Tenkaichi game is coming. And no lie, the internet Dragon Ball community has not recovered since.
Not recovered.
We thought it was a collection. We thought it was just going to be an HD collection.
That hit the streets like crack in the 80s, boy. It took over and it ain't been the same since.
It really hasn't been the same since. That was the second trending thing in the world at that time, like that Sunday night. And it was just out of nowhere. No one saw it coming. And then this is what I hate about the Dragon Ball community. You always have that one or two people like, oh yeah, this is shut the shit up. You didn't know this was coming. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't try and claim. Mitch knows exactly what I'm talking about. You'll have those people like, no, you did not know.
Actually, 6 years ago, Toriyama hinted at this. If you've seen in his emails, I'm like, all right, okay, bro. You know what? Those guys.
I mean, this is a direct continuation of Budokai 3. Budokai 3 came out in 2007. November 13th in the United States on PlayStation 2. And this is Budokai Tenkaichi 4. And for the people who don't know how hailed Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is, currently right now on Amazon, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for PlayStation 2 is selling for $389 to $400.
Yeah.
I mean, Malon has a list. So we're actually going to toss it to Malon about the things he wants to see. And also for people listening, if you don't know why this series, like this is such a big deal, it's because there's been no Dragon Ball Z game that has had the attention of detail to people's fight styles, their attacks, the animation of the transformations, than Budokai Tenkaichi 3. It had the most characters ever. The only person who wasn't in that game was the farmer with the gun. That's the only person who wasn't in that game.
And now we got the power of DLC.
That's where we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that. But Malon, I'm gonna throw this to you, man, because you said you had a list. So take it away, man. What's your list of stuff you want in Tenkaichi 4?
A couple things I need. JJ also has a list too. So we.
Oh well, I mean, if he has a whole list of our podcast is wrongs, I know he has a list of.
Your podcast is never wrong. I make sure I said that for the record.
I'm just man. We had a lot of red. You're like, oh,
Malon said red. Malon said red.
I don't, man. I'm just letting you know what I was told. But yeah, man, I got the basic stuff. We need like all the transformations available from base characters.
Okay.
Entry level stuff like that.
Okay.
Really, what I wanted, the first thing I thought that I really wanted, because you know how they do like the different color variants. I want the Super Saiyan Goku Black from the manga. So like I want Rose. That's natural. But I definitely want that manga variation. I want the little Super Saiyan 2 Lightning. I want it all, and I need it.
Okay.
Like they do for fighters. Like they have those, like I think like Vegeta Blue and Goku Blue have like a manga variant.
Yeah.
Yep. So I definitely need some of the manga variants on there. I know one thing for sure. Me and JJ both talked about were like online tag team matches.
Oh, okay.
That would be nice. Back in Tenkaichi, you better what was it? Click R3 and L3 or something, and you swap out a character.
Yep.
I need JJ to do that, but then I come in with Super Saiyan Rose. You know what I'm saying? But I want the manga variant with it.
Okay.
I'm bringing it home. So that was cool. What else did we talk about? Of course, the enhanced battle damage, enhanced effects. I do want not exactly how Ninja Storm does it, or not Ninja Storm. What
you want it exactly like Ninja Storm. That's what you want.
Okay, yeah. Not exactly. It doesn't have to be like the anime style finishing scenes, but I do definitely want like a dramatic finish. Like your health is low, I'm maxed out, I kill you with my strongest attack. I need some sort of cutscene.
Okay.
I definitely need some love on that. I definitely want the same two kind of L2 triangle. You know what I'm saying? L2, R2 triangle. I want the entry level attacks.
Mm-hmm.
The simple buttons like that. Another character I also want is that like the enraged wrath Broly. I definitely want that character.
Okay.
When he has that giant green, I call it a spirit bomb. When he has that giant spirit bomb, I do want that. I want Beerus to be overpowered. A lot of times I feel like we don't get like since we don't have like a lot of footage on characters, even though we know they're strong in the show, they're kind of terrible in the games. But I do definitely want Beerus to be strong. And most importantly, I forgot to say his name. Monaka?
Monaka? Yeah.
I want a Monaka character, and I don't want him censored. I want him to have those weird nipples in the game, and I want him strong. So I absolutely need Monaka, and I want him full powered.
Okay.
And then the same way in like Tenkaichi 3 when they had those like the cheats where you could like enter the passwords and like boost up the characters all the way.
Oh, I have some. That used to be hell in that basement. I still have my save files when I beat some of those. Ooh,
I just did a couple of them. Well, just send me a link.
Yeah. I just sent you one, or I just sent you the cheat. So I definitely want that just so I can make Bardock the strongest in the game and fight everybody all at once.
I will say to those, because we used to call them back in the day the God characters. Funny now that there's actually God characters. But it would make it's so wild because when you put those characters like that in those passwords, the fact that Kamehamehas do no damage to them when that is 80% of the roster's moves, you're just like,
see ya.
And most people don't know those people exist. That was hell. I still got some of my save files on the PlayStation 2 memory card stored away on that because I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, Malon just sent me the link to that this morning. I didn't know anything about it.
It's
for Vegeta. I was like, oh yeah,
this is time. Ask Justin about them because that boy used to go through it in that basement.
I know you thrashed Aki in that basement.
Oh no, there were times but those were times when I used to play the Budokai games, like how people play like Madden, 2K, Call of Duty. Like I was that person. Come home from school, practice. Like it got so bad. Like my parents had to take the PlayStation 2 and put it away unless it was a weekend. Because as soon as my homework was done and no one was coming over to my house to play basketball, it was Budokai.
Right.
And my brothers would be like, Junior would be like, I want to play NCAA. Fuck you. No, you ain't playing NCAA.
Yeah.
Like it got bad. Like I was so locked into that game. Like man, those were times. JJ, what are stuff you want in this game?
All right, so I want the same exact roster as the third game, as Tenkaichi 3. Just add super variants. So like you have your early Goku, your mid Goku, your end Goku, super Goku. Now, me and Malon were talking about this earlier. You don't have to have like Super Goku go Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, God, Blue. Just skip to Super Goku, go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Master or Omen, True, like all the way up to Susanoo. Master Girl Fantasy. The next thing I want is, I thought this was what Malon was saying earlier, but I want combo ultimates like in Ninja Storm. So like if you have like Goku and Vegeta on the team.
Oh, like a tag team, like a final Kamehameha together.
Yeah, that way like you can do different variants. Wow. Like you have Team Gohan and Super Saiyan Goku. They do the father son Kamehameha. Goku family did the Broly Kamehameha.
But then still give like the random teams the generic ones. Like when you got Shotgun.
Yeah, they still do have the regular ultimates. That's just like that's for your dramatic finish. That's what they should do. They should tie it into like that. That's what they should do. The next thing is something I'm very passionate about. Is all transformations have to be a transformation. I don't want a Natural Ultra Instinct Goku to be a separate character. I hate that so much in Xenoverse. We need the animations of them transforming.
Oh, you want the animation of him going?
I want the whole thing. Yeah, I want to go from base Goku and be like, oh, you think you're hard? Ultra Instinct. Smack him in the mouth. That's what I want.
Okay.
The next thing is I want full arc DLCs, like how they're doing in Xenoverse right now with the superhero movie. They have like part 1, part 2. I need drop all of it. I need Gamma 1, 2. I need Orange Piccolo. I need Beast Gohan. All one DLC.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
More outfits with progressive battle damage. So like as your health goes down, your like Goku shirt gets like more and more turn all the way till he has like no
the
shirt.
Old school.
Yeah, we do have the technology. They should.
I do want the Raging Blast transformation wheel. So like you would hold like R1 and you could see like the little icons of like their pictures up in the top right corner.
Okay.
Like you press like you would match this like square would be like Super Saiyan 1 if I wanted to match like that.
Mhm.
All right, now the most important thing for a Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi game to have, loading screen mini games, has to be a part of this. Now I was thinking like, I want to press X. I want Gohan to pull swords out of the ground. I want Cybermen to pop up over my screen.
Okay.
I was also thinking for like story mode, like because I hope they do like the full like story. They add Super. They do like a what if chapters and stuff like that, like the different old ones. Maybe like you would do like for those loading screens, like the manga panels that like kind of inspired these events.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool because a lot of people don't read the manga. We got a couple friends that I know that don't read the manga that don't even know what's happening right now. And then my last one, I got my last two. I want Dragon Ball hero characters.
Yes,
in the
sir.
Game. I want the Berserker, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. I want Super Saiyan 3 Rose. I want all of that. And then my last one, I'm kind of iffy on. I was talking with Malon about this morning. Is the created characters. Now, when we first saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, it has to have created characters because I thought that was the best part, at least Xenoverse 2. And then the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, well, I'm not probably ever going to use it. Right. So unless it has like its own mode, I don't want it.
Yeah. I think with the create characters, like I feel like that needs to be exclusively for Xenoverse because that like keep because like obviously there's no creative characters in like fighters because that's more the professional.
But there is an Ultimate Tenkaichi, which is what I was afraid of.
That game is ass.
Well, I agree, but it is there.
That's true. So, but yeah, we'll see. Mitch, is there any things like you want in this game? Because again, like people have been asking for like Xenoverse 3 forever. That's not, and then no one knew this was happening. So this is gonna be the next like big Dragon Ball Z game. Is there things you want in this game?
No, I don't. I'm grateful just to have it. That I actually haven't given time.
Be greedy, Mitch. Be greedy.
Be greedy. Well, as I said on the podcast, though, I think I've had my focus on when the hell is Xenoverse 3 coming out.
Well, they hit everyone with the swerve, man.
Yeah, JJ's been saying that too. He's like, man, we need Xenoverse 3. I'm like, man, I'm like,
I had a whole list of like the story mode, what I wanted in the story mode, everything. Yeah.
Well, I tell Mitch if he pops in his Xenoverse 2 right now, it'd be a whole new game. He hasn't played it since the Zamasu DLC came out. Like it'd be a whole new game for Mitch.
When's the last? That might have been the time I played it last.
I mean, they had the superhero DLC, so I come back when the new DLC comes. I'm like, dang, I really put a lot of work in this game. Mitch has too. Mitch was putting in work in Xenoverse.
Oh yeah.
I put we were playing heavy.
Now I always have a salty like taste in my mouth because of like I bought that season pass for Xenoverse 1 and it was ass. And then I didn't buy it for season 2, Xenoverse 2, because I just didn't have faith in them. And then all of a sudden they just don't stop putting in the work. It's just like
greatest season pass of all time.
Low key. I agree with all the stuff that you guys have said. The only couple of things I would want to add is one, they got to keep some of the stuff. They can't get rid of the good stuff of Tenkaichi 3, like stages and like things just getting blown up like a real Dragon Ball Z. That's got to stay. Definitely, especially when you get your boys in your place or whatever. The game mode variety, like the world tournaments, they gotta stay.
Needs that.
Like all of them got to stay. Like they had the world tournament, they had the Cell games, they had the Hercule tournament, they had the other world tournament. So now you could even add the tournament of power in there. Like maybe you put a tournament of power mode in this game, which would be wild. And I think the biggest thing, because we're in this era now, like Malon said, they have the technology. This game will make $1 billion if it's crossplay.
Yeah.
Because Mitch this has been the problem with me and Mitch. I have a PlayStation, he has an Xbox, and we're playing. Like when we live together, we both be playing Xenoverse 2 on different TVs. Whole different system, so we couldn't play with each other. So it's like if this is crossplay and you can play with everyone, it's a wrap.
Martin, you got to make him buy a PlayStation. That's what I did with Malon. I made him go out and buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, Mitch was doing the same thing with the Xbox. It's just like I can only have like 2 systems, man, and like just a PlayStation and a Switch. Like,
yeah, but I stayed at PlayStation after that Ghost of Tsushima came out. I've been stuck here since. Yeah.
Like, so those are the biggest things for me. Like you had the game mode variety. Like if you remember in the Budokai thing, you also had that like thing where you fought like maybe 50, 25, 100 people, like the survival mode. and see how far you can go. Like, I want all that stuff to still don't take away of what made Budokai Tenkaichi 3 so great, and try and do that, because back then, besides working hard, like you had to working hard to unlock all the characters. Like Malon says, like these little grubby, meaty, like asshole people are gonna be like, all right, we're gonna give you like 15 characters on a game of 250. So you're gonna have to buy season pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I don't want that. You gotta at least, if you drop the whole cast of Tenkaichi 3, like JJ said, and make us maybe earn like Tournament of Power people, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I can earn everything from Super. Earning everything on Super, maybe I'm pretty content with that.
Yeah,
and Heroes.
Yeah, and Heroes.
Yeah, I mean, Heroes would be cool because you'll see like a Hearts, a Cumber, like
Super Saiyan 4, Vegito.
Like, it's crazy it's crazy how like Heroes, they don't care. They just keep pumping out stuff. Like they're like, we're on our own thing. Like, we're gonna be 8 minutes of we don't make no damn sense, but we're not.
That was the big selling point on Raging Blast, was the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and Super Saiyan 3 Broly.
Yeah. I remember the story, like the story little thing where Goku had to fight all the Super Saiyan 3s. Like, I remember that, but it's big, man, because no one expected this. Like, everyone's making videos about Tenkaichi 4. Like, this is a huge deal. We don't have a release date. The fact that it's in development.
Do you think it comes out before the anime?
Yes.
That's the safe bet. The safe bet is absolutely.
I'd put money on it. I'd put a healthy amount of money on it right now if I could see some.
I just had to put it out there. You guys have been saying anime is coming out every year.
Whoa!
Oh, brother, he's got the receipts too. I know he does. Check the board.
We gave up. We said when it comes out, we'll be here. That's all. That's the point we're at right now.
Yeah.
Because hey,
I did think of one thing I could be greedy about.
What?
Like, and I don't know if it could be in a Tenkaichi game, but just in general, I wish one of these games would have the Dragonball like story arc, because there's a lot of people that don't know what Goku did back in Dragonball, and like you can almost add Piccolo and Goku in the World Martial Arts Tournament. You can almost add that to modern games. If they're fighting Raditz, you can have that in the game. Maybe the stuff beforehand it's a little more change for a game. But I wish there was a game that could allow you to play through all that Goku went through in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
What'd you say?
All of us talking at once. I think Tenkaichi 3 had a little bit of it. Like, I remember you could fight like
you fought General Tao. You fought.
But it wasn't as in depth. Like, you didn't know about Krillin. You didn't fight Tien. Like, some of the best fights in like the history of Dragon Ball, like the Tien Goku World Tournament fight.
Yeah,
like no one knows about that because some people just play the games and just get the history through that. But yeah, I think that would be pretty good too. Especially how they handled the characters.
On the flip side of that too, like Kakarot is coming out with the Tenkaichi tournament, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So they're doing that as DLC. And on your other thing too, like there's a lot of people who this is how they're like, oh, I didn't know this stuff happened. Like through the story modes, because hell, the story modes is like I knew a lot of friends who's like, oh, I didn't watch the show, but I know what happened because I played the story mode. Because this is gonna be the first like game where you can play like the full super story mode technically, from start to finish. Like you're gonna be able to do Universe 6, Universe 7, Tournament of Power, Goku Black, Beerus, Frieza, Broly. They're probably gonna stop it at Broly unless they're like, you know what, we don't care. Here's Moro.
Yeah, they probably won't. Yeah, that's probably their generosity is probably going to end right at Broly. Like,
maybe before.
It could
that's the first DLC. That's the first DLC pack you get.
Yeah, all we got is Beerus. I'm like, oh man, come on.
That would be terrible. That would be bad if the super story ends at Beerus and then you have to pay for the rest. Because when you buy a video game now, like $50, $60, $70, it's like that's not even the case anymore. I tell like people I work with is like, if you're buying your kid a game, you at least got to be ready to pay $150 because you're gonna have to get the season pass.
Need it,
and the season pass could be $40 to $50 in itself.
Yeah, that's what happened in Xenoverse 2. Like it dropped like right around like was a little bit before the Rose arc, I think, the Goku Black arc.
Yep.
But like Champa was still DLC, Vados was still DLC, Kaba was still DLC. Hit was the only one you gotta get in for Dragon Balls. No one even knew about that.
Yeah,
so the game came out.
And I'm not buying Kaba. That's where I draw the line.
You don't want Universe 6 Tarble?
Hell no.
You want that tingle in the back?
That's basically.
I don't want no back tingle team players for DLC. You can keep that. You can keep that shit.
But they need him in the game. We need him. We need that whole Universe 16. The big players for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I want them all in the game, just not as DLC.
Yeah, just like smack them around. This is how you turn Super Saiyan.
Milan's gonna make his team of 5. Probably fuck Kale. Kaba. He's probably gonna have freaking disc
farmer with shotgun.
And I'm gonna turn it down to the lowest difficulty. and I'm getting every variation of Gogeta on my team.
So you're gonna have Super Saiyan Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan Blue, normal,
Ultra Ego,
base,
Can't
forget base, and our Ultra Master Ego Instinct Gogeta too, whatever they're gonna combine it with.
Whenever that finally debuts, I'm telling you, when they want to sell some toys, that's when they're like, all right, time to show it.
I'm calling it's gonna be Ultra Gogeta. That's it.
When the Dokkan card comes out, that's for sure. People are going to spend stones on that.
It don't even be started on Dokkan. Dokkan takes more of my US money than definitely more than I spent on Xenoverse.
Well, it's. I tell you, man, they know what they're doing over there. But this game in development, it'll be crazy if maybe in the summer we get a release date. I mean,
I'll say that loud.
I mean, if it's a Dragon Ball game, it would come out in October because that's when they drop these things.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Now, do you think, because I don't know if like in my head, I would look at like the landscape, like Spider-Man comes out, it's just supposed to come out fourth quarter too. Do you think they would try to do it before then? I'm thinking like maybe early 2024.
I would think, but the Dragon Ball people, they don't care. They're like,
we know
our fan base. We know our fan base. We know what.
Yeah.
That's the thing where I crack up with Mitch every time, like when it comes to Dragon Ball, because any other anime could be doing their thing. They're like, oh, this person's fighting this person's fighting that. Naruto just announced for their 20th anniversary, they're dropping Connection. Everything's great. Dragon Ball will be like, all right, we're just going to pick a random Sunday at 6 o'clock to break the internet.
Absolutely.
Poor Naruto. Poor Naruto.
Everyone got
everybody else.
Naruto just came out like that. Was it like 2 days before? And we're like, oh, yeah, we can play this. Boom, Tenkaichi 4.
Boom,
never talking about Naruto again.
Yep. Never heard of it.
That's what they do with Dragon Ball. They're like, oh, we'll just take someone's spotlight and be like, it's nothing.
They let the big three know who number one is. That's for sure.
They definitely do that.
They do that.
And that's why they have so many plot holes, because they're like, whatever, just put it in there. They're gonna watch it.
You're gonna pay for it. You're gonna play Susanoo Goku.
You're
gonna play. You're gonna play. You're not gonna say a word. All you content creators are gonna be talking about it on podcasts. You're gonna be making the videos on YouTube. You're gonna be streaming it on Twitch. All that's coming back to us. We don't care.
Yeah, they straight steal from Naruto too. This whole Granola arc, you got double Sharingan Granola, Shadow Clone Jutsu.
That was terrible.
And he's like, I'm dropping this game too.
Yeah, and then they don't care.
Yep, don't care.
They don't care at all.
I want Master Ultra Instinct Gear 5 go. I want them to steal from One Piece too. Don't care, and I'm like, don't care, and I'm like, put Gear in the name
with his water breathing technique.
They don't give it. They really don't care. I felt really bad for Naruto because like the Connections thing, it was like, all right. So you're just putting all 4 storms in a game and giving us some new characters and some new plot, whatever. Okay, the war thing, cool, that's great. I mean, I'm gonna buy it. But then Dragon Ball's like, we're just gonna make one of the greatest games of all time. We're just gonna give it its 4th installation.
Hope you guys don't mind. Yeah.
It's like, and then everyone's looking at Naruto like, so you couldn't make Storm 5? You had to call it Connections.
All of a sudden everybody got real bougie about what they wanted. Like, well, they can get Budokai Tenkaichi 4.
It's just like when I think about like, because this anime landscape is so large now with like all the things coming out, like this winter quarter is about to be over. So like stuff like Blue Lock or like My Hero, all that stuff's about to be done. And then we're going into the next stuff with like Demon Slayer starts literally in 3 weeks. Yeah. In a couple of weeks, like Jujutsu Kaisen, all that stuff coming back. Dragon Ball can immediately just walk into the studio and be like, all right, we want the 8 o'clock time slot on Saturday. Well, that's so-and-so's time. We don't care. Make it happen. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's a culture. It's the only one that people care the most about.
Yeah.
Like even when we're sitting here we're talking about Ninja Storm. What other anime games are we talking about that's not Dragon Ball?
That's true. I mean,
I'm talking about, what was that? Jump Force when they combined all that was garbage.
Jump Force's fault is they should have kept the fighting like Ninja Storm. I don't know what the hell they were doing.
Jump Force was ass.
It was, and I felt so bad because I'm like, man, this is the only game I could Kamehameha someone and hit someone with the Chidori. Life is
and use the Egyptian god cards.
Yeah, and use the god cards, but it's like
it had all the potential.
But you see where Dragon Ball stands, where Goku was flying at the Macy's Day Parade and no one else is. That's all you got to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless I mean, Goku and Pikachu. That's it. That's the only other anime.
And Pikachu's a heavy hitter. Pokemon.
Yes, he is. Pokemon. In the States, like, that's where you see, like, as Mitchell says, man, like, Dragon Ball's just different. The culture is different.
Different.
Shit, like they had a freaking balloon for Macy's Day, but they didn't. Like, that's it. Like,
yeah, I need to tell someone at Macy, you need to stop flying the blue one. You gotta that's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment to the culture. You gotta start flying the gold one like that.
We say all this, but Mugen Train was the #1 movie.
Yes, it was.
It's.
That was visually the most astonishing thing. It's just their sheer animation style alone is outrageous.
Yeah, after you saw that, you told me to start watching it, and I did. And
but it's crazy too because if you think about like Mugen Train, like you could just see the buildup because like when me and Mitch went to go see Resurrection F with our little friend group, we went to the theater at Ohio State. Every time you think like, oh, it's only going to be like us, like in the theater, we're going to be able to sit where we want. So we didn't like buy tickets ahead of time. We bought them there. We go in the theater, every seat's filled. People are sitting on the floor. We're like, you always forget. Besides when you're talking to like your friends who are into the stuff, they're like, this is a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah,
like, I remember when I picked up Fighters at GameStop, and I see a whole line. I'm like, it
was packed.
Other people,
Fighters was packed. Yeah.
I forget other people play like these games. Like Broly made 100 million. Like that's when anime movies started really like when Broly made 100 million. You're like, all those other anime people are like, we can make this movie money. And then Demon Slayer out here making more money than like early MCU movies, like 500 million. And it's like Malon said, it was visual, all that stuff. And then the greatest testament to Dragon Ball, which me and Mitch, like Dragon Ball superhero had zero promotion compared to anything else. Idris Elba's out here. Idris Elba's out here pleading on Twitter with everyone before these movies come. It's like, man, you need to come see Beast. All this stuff. Dragon Ball Super opened the #1 box office movie that weekend. That was no promotion. The #1 movie in the world.
Here's a Dragon Ball movie. Enjoy that. Yeah.
And Mitch was sitting there laughing. He's like, Idris really was out here crying that he got smoked by Dragon Ball Super. Like, it's different, man. Like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Why spend money on marketing when you got a community like us here, talking about this movie and wondering why they're not doing promotion? Technically, we promoted it ourselves.
Right.
No need to spend your own. Someone else will do the work for free.
Only thing we need is a release date.
That's true. I can't imagine being a movie star losing to a movie with no promotion. Like you sitting there looking at the box office numbers, you're like, bro, this is embarrassing.
Elba, Idris Elba, so pissed that the movie got beat out by superhero.
Yep.
Well, he should have took that Piccolo role.
I mean, I was shocked. Like when it came out, the #1 movie, I was like, holy shit. I was like, what? Really? No promo. And then, of course, when they see that, they're like, all right, we need to start promoting it. Make some money.
And it was such a weird movie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was such a different feel for a movie, too. I mean, the whole art style was different, but just following Piccolo around, I'm like, okay, well, I was like, I have friends that aren't super into Dragon Ball Z as much, but they still enjoyed it because I was like, well, it's Piccolo, so it feels kind of weird. I'm not saying Goku and Vegeta, but,
it's that double edge. You take away the two main characters, and people are like, I don't want to see because they're going to be less. But then you bring in two real big fan favorite characters. Like, oh, but Gohan and Piccolo are the leads.
The people's champ, yeah.
And then like, oh, well, I'm going to watch this. And you see Pans in there. Like, you see the others contributing. It still boggles my mind how the hell we got everyone to that fight but 17.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I understand you protect your little land, But
Yeah,
Cell
man.
blows up the planet. Gone.
You're part of that too. Didn't know if you knew.
That's what I'm
he didn't care if
saying.
the universe got blown up. He's like, it's whatever, it happens.
Yeah, he's 17. He's on his full-time Steve Irwin. So y'all can have all that fighting and stuff. We good.
Right.
Yeah.
But man, anything else, guys? Anything else before we go to closing remarks?
I do just want to say that, like, just from trying to research of what I want for this Tenkaichi 4, there has been like a fan, this French gentleman, I can't pronounce the name, I'm going to try, has been doing this thing for Raging Blast 3. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. Like, way back in 2012, I was talking to Malon about this earlier. Way back in 2012, I saw like pictures of it as like all like how he wants the game to be, compares it to like all the other games and everything like that. He updated it at the end of Super, and he has like files of like pictures of how everything he was like, how fighting. Like, I'm looking at some of it right now. He has like animations for how he wants the explosions to look, how he would want like grade 8 fights to go, and everything like that. I mean, check it out for sure. I mean, if I would say this is the baseline of how I want Tenkaichi 4 to be.
Fair enough.
Yeah, send me that link. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you see, like all these super talented people who like do these mods and like make fan mangas and all that, and you're like, why isn't Toei calling these people?
Shoot, email, anything, like, because they'll hop on it, and you can really have some. It eliminates that gap of information, or that gap of like there's always a disconnect from what the people really want.
Yes.
So, the people that are actually running it. And that kind of closes that gap of like fan service as well. It kind of adds a little bit to that. So you would think it at least consult with them, even if you don't got to bring them on. Just
right.
Shit, run a Twitter poll. See what we want.
That's all you got to do. All right, man, let's go into some closings. We'll go with JJ, then Malon. And then since JJ, so you'll go first, say your closing stuff. And then I'm also going to ask you, since you've listened to stuff, what's your favorite Dragon Ball podcast we've done? That you can't say this one.
I won't say this one. Even though this one's the best one you all's ever done. That's what I'm saying. But
it's already my favorite.
Got the Smith boys on here. That's
the Smith boys.
All I'm going to say is Malon told me to listen to you guys' podcasts at the end of last year. I had a baby last year, so I was catching up to all the other podcasts. Thank you, appreciate it. I was catching up to all these other podcasts, and as soon as I caught up with them, I'm like, Malon, I'm starting a podcast. I'll say this was Valentine's Day, around Valentine's Day this year. You started August 2020. I am on September 2nd, 2022. I listened to you guys talk every single episode, UFC, college, football, basketball, Power Rangers, all of it. Wrestling, everything. All I gotta say is I appreciate everything you guys do. You're the only podcast out here that talks about there's not one thing that you guys missed that I don't love. So I appreciate everything you guys here at L7C do. Keep up the good work. Give these people a follow, follow them on all their socials, check them out their YouTube. I haven't got to check out you guys playing any video games yet, but that's next on my list. When you guys hit up something live, I heard you guys talking about strikers. I heard you guys talking about a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's next on my list.
Get on some strikers. We haven't been on fighters as a group in a minute. I haven't been on Demon. I know we're trying to do something for Demon Slayer with the anime coming out, but yeah, it's weird because like everything gets pushed aside when it's like, oh, we got to record 5 episodes this week, or we got to do 6. It's like the games are like, well, it gets pushed, but it's a balance. But no, appreciate it, man.
And Martin, shout out to you, man. You're out here putting in this grind. And like I said, I appreciate. I listen to every episode. I listen to every single one all the way through. I make sure I don't skip one, even if it's like something I'm like super into. I'm like, this man's working. This man's about to earn my 0.2 cents right here. That's what's about to happen.
That's right.
But as a favorite episode, man, let's just sake. You guys hated Sensei being with Moro. You guys talked about that.
Was a bad one. That was a bad one.
I'll tell you what it is. It's man, it got me so hot. Let's talk about it. You hated the name Ultra Ego. I thought that name was the coolest name of all time. You guys like Ultra Ego could have came with a better name. That name is sick.
What? You like that name?
I love that name. That fits in perfectly. Ultra Pride doesn't sound as good. Ultra Ego?
Who was saying Ultra Pride? Whoa. My brother in Christ, what are we talking about? What?
I'm not gonna lie. I want to make sure I said that. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying I saw it out there. Say one some other things. Also, I don't like the name Super Saiyan Blue
you
Evolution.
You like that name too?
Yeah, I kind of do like Ultra Ego. I'm not gonna lie.
Sick. This man.
Yeah.
Man,
just for Vegeta.
Kakarot can keep his Ultra Instinct. We'll call this Ultra Ego.
Yeah, Ultra Instinct sounds soft.
Like, walk it out. Granolla's dead. That's right.
If it was strong.
You guys on my white marker board in red.
Oh, jeez. Ultra Ego all in red and circled. Like,
okay, so that the ones that hated. Okay,
that's Mitch. That's my 1 to your 326.
That's crazy.
That sounds like the Smith boys are up, baby. Sounds like we're up.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh,
but yeah, like I said, I listen to your guys' podcast. It's great. I love it. Keep up the work. I'm gonna continue to listen. I listen to it 10, 15 hours a day at work. I'm like I said, I'm 2 years in now. I'll catch up probably by the end of this month. So I appreciate everything you guys do.
Awesome. Malon.
So dope. You know, obviously I love the podcast. We talk on Twitter all the time. Of course I love being on here, man. I appreciate the invite. I'm definitely bringing JJ. We'll definitely be back.
Yes, sir.
Anytime y'all need a guest and JJ doesn't want to get on, just let me know and I'll bully him to get on because he does, you know, everything that you guys have ever talked about, he knows in depth. So we'll definitely be bringing him on here more. The Smith boys, we are kind of a tag team duo, tag team champion. So anything he hops on, I'll hop on and throw a little 2 cent.
Okay.
So, you know, I can always be the hype man for sure. But I do appreciate you guys having us on, man. And I'll be on whenever, man. Just let me know.
You got a favorite episode?
Go ahead. Favorite episode.
Oh, man.
That's his favorite.
Naturally, I want to choose this one.
Okay.
But really, whichever one it was, when I was first feeling optimistic about Ultra Ego, I'm like, yeah, this is the one. This is the one.
Yeah, that's
and then
the granola fight is the final chapter of the granola fight. You mentioned Malon's name.
Yep. I was feeling optimistic about that one, and that was the first time I've ever been optimistic about Vegeta, and I had to swallow my words there, and that would hurt. But then also he told me to stay positive, so I've been staying positive. But this shit is not easy. Being on the Team Vegeta is not a fun team to be on.
2.5 wins. 2.5 wins, baby.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he gonna beat Goku now, but anybody else?
It's the greatest protagonist of all time. All that matters.
Tears and pain.
I'm surprised. Malon, I thought your favorite one was going to be that most recent one, that's strongest in Dragonball.
Yeah, I did like that one. I did like the power scaling and everything like that. But JJ, you definitely got to catch up with that one too. So
I'll be there by next week.
Yeah. But yeah, I do love that one. That was absolutely solid. There was a lot of valid points. Of course, Broly's also one of my favorite characters. So I did appreciate, the shout out on that one. But yeah, man, Bardock, man, bring us back on the show. Bardock supremacy, and we'll be here, baby.
Okay. You wanted to add something, JJ, before I go to Mitch?
Yeah, I was curious. I do have like I don't want to say like quest. Like I'm like, oh man, first time fan. I'm excited. Let me tell you guys what to do. I want an anime draft. I need Cedric on there. I need everyone who can talk anime. I need best protagonist, side, villain, teacher. Wow. Okay. That's what I need. I need you guys to hit me with an anime draft.
So I will say before I go to Mitch, because you haven't caught up, Cedric, he has been in the lab. We started our Anime Element March Madness tournament.
I saw the thumbnail for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started that. We just did the fire one's already out. The water one got recorded last week. And I'm going to give you a preview on the water one. That was the first one in over a year that like the whole little Naruto crew was on there. So it was like me, Cedric, Byron, Nikki, Andrea, and Aki. Because Aki's the one who's never freaking on the damn things.
Yeah, I've only heard so far for like Aki like twice so far.
Yeah, but he's the one who edits. If it's 3 or more people, he edits them though. But he because he gets our big projects, and Byron gets like the one-on-one stuff. So he's always busy with our big stuff. So that's why. But that was
is Aki Justin?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've heard Justin all the time.
Yeah,
on one of the titles it says Aki. So I'm like, I know who that is, and then I didn't.
Yeah. But no, I'll send that off to Cedric. I know he has some stuff planned. In the fire one at the end, he even said he has some stuff planned for Mitchell. So I don't know what it is, but I'll give him that one because I feel like that's a good one. All right, Mitch.
Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. I'm glad to have you on, and I look forward to you guys, joining again. Feel free anytime to come and join, because if you guys are fact checking me a lot there, then shit, I need you on. So then the whiteboard off a little bit. But, today's been fun. This was a pleasure, and I look forward to talking to you guys again. Thanks again for everything.
Yeah, I echo what Mitch said. And like, again, this is like the first time we've had people who aren't on the L7C, like fans, who avid listeners who know what we're talking about, come on. So we really appreciate that. It shows like our growth and all of that. So we really appreciate you guys coming on and just the support. And then the normal plugs, make sure you like, rate, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And I would say that I know with the Strongest in Dragonball, how me and Mitch were like, that was something different. That wasn't a manga chapter. That was actually a decent amount of work, like doing all that. We want to do more like special Dragon Ball episodes in the future. So it's like, if we go down that route and just think of like random things. I know we've talked about like, how would we want to end this arc? Like if we ended the Tournament of Power, what would we have done, or that? So maybe if we start doing some of those special episodes on the side, definitely invite the Smith tag team.
Yeah, come on, man. Boys. Come on, man. Talk to us.
I'm
baby.
Just saying, like those special, when we ever have another special idea, hit up the Smith Tag Boys and like tag team and get it going.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well,
we'll be here for sure.
All right, man. Sure. With that being said, this is the L7C podcast signing out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.